There is new research about a skin test that could help doctors determine if people could be diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, among other diseases as well. Joining us this morning is one of the creators of the test, Dr. Todd Levine. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. You're in town for a conference that has, you said, what, 10,000 neurologists in Denver right now?
10,000 neurologists here today.
Wow,
yes.
From all over the world. You're from Phoenix.
Yes, exactly.
That is phenomenal. That's so much brain power in our city right now. That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about the skin test and what it's doing and what it's helping you diagnose.
So we've known for about 100 years now that in certain diseases there are proteins that build up inside the nerves of the brain. So Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. And when people died, we could look at those proteins and be certain about the diagnosis. But we've never had a way to do that in living people. We've never had a way to visualize those proteins to help us make a better diagnosis. So what we and some other people around the world discovered over the past decade is that you can actually see those proteins inside the nerves of the skin.
Wow.
So it's just a very simple little procedure to take a small piece of skin, we analyze those nerves, and we can see these proteins build up.
You have an example of what that actually looks like. I mean, it just fits on our side table over here.
So this is the little punch tool. It's incredibly small, and if you can see that hole I made earlier, that's the hole in the
right there.
Yep.
Okay.
So it doesn't even require any stitches.
Okay.
Just put a little Band-Aid over it, and it heals up like a little scab. So it's a very simple procedure that patients get done in their doctor's office.
How is that different than the way people are being tested for Parkinson's right now?
So right now it's mainly a clinical diagnosis. So we wait for people, for example, to have the rest tremor, or they start to shuffle when they walk. And then we watch them over time. And after 6 months, a year, or maybe sometimes several years, the neurologist will say, well, now I'm really convinced that it's Parkinson's disease.
Gotcha.
There is a specialized kind of X-ray that's been around for about 20 years, but that really is only helpful once a person has advanced very far in the course of their disease. With the skin biopsy, we're really able to see those changes very early. So if a patient presented to their doctor with some of the symptoms, but not all the symptoms, this test can be very helpful in that early case as well.
Got it. So you're able to intervene and maybe start treating earlier in the process?
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have any disease-modifying therapies yet, but we do have some very good symptomatic treatments that make their symptoms better. But probably more importantly, over the last decade or so, we've also realized the importance of wellness in Parkinson's disease. So patients that exercise progress more slowly. Patients that have good diets progress more slowly. So getting to them early and really trying to intervene can actually make a big difference in the course of their disease.
And it sounds like it's not just Parkinson's, right?
Correct. So there are 3 other diseases. The protein that builds up is a protein called alpha-synuclein, which is a very long word. But it builds up in another disease called dementia with Lewy bodies, which is the disease that Robin Williams passed away from.
And
then 2 other rare diseases, one called multiple system atrophy and one called pure autonomic failure. So with this test that we call the SYN1 test, we're able to detect the protein in all 4 of those diseases.
So I know it's a new test, so is this available? Is it still in research? Where does it stand?
No, we've been commercially available now for about 4 years, so patients can talk to their doctor. It's not meant as a screening test, so it's not to say, oh, I'm worried I might get Parkinson's at some point. It's really meant for, I'm starting to have some symptoms. My doctor isn't certain what the symptoms are coming from, and there are many diseases that can look like Parkinson's disease but not be Parkinson's disease. And so therefore, in a conversation with the doctor would say, hey, I'd like to get a little more information. I'd like to see if this alpha-synuclein protein is building up. And then they would perform the SYN1 test in their office.
Probably a conversation with the insurance company, too.
Correct.
About coverage as well. This is fascinating, and what a treat to have you come in and be able to show us and talk about it this morning. Glad we caught you on a busy weekend, so thank you so much.
Thanks for the time.
All right.